In any case, we're trying to get a better idea about how we should be born and what was taken away from us, because that technology of being pregnant and the birthing process is a program. It programs your emotions. That's why the Europeans had you birthed in a rape position for boys in Greek culture, where they had the lady on the back. They used to tie the little boys on their back and put their legs in stirrup and rape them. So they have the ladies, black ladies today, being born in the homosexual rape position. You see, they are kind of shrewd with their technology. You see, so we got to get back from that and put in our own technology. We're celebrating the birth of the oldest ancestor in the room, a child. So we come in there with singing, dancing, drumming. You can't come up in no European hospital and get that jungle stuff out of here. You may contaminate the place. All that kind of stuff. No, my grandmother can be here. It's a celebration. We're happy about this. Because this may be the Marcus Garvey we've been looking for. You understand what I'm saying? We're all happy. But you can't bring that from a European hospital. You think it's about medicine? No, it's about the rituals. You may bring the wrong technology to the child, and that will liberate some melanin and start some stuff that they can't stop. Look for me in the whirlwind, you see? They're serious about this thing. So a lot of things they tell us about medicine are not about medicine at all. They just don't want you to engage into being a whole person. They still want you to have a partial emotional vocabulary, a partial love, a partial jealousy, a partial, so you can't be a whole person. They're robbing you from your ability to be a human being, and that is a crime. Far beyond that. They're robbing you from being human. That is a crime, you see? A crime in European culture is anything you do, a ritual and ceremony that you do or do not do, which you can be punished by money or punished by jail. If you can be punished by money or punished by jail, they don't call it a ritual and ceremony. They call it the law. But it's only a ritual and ceremony. You broke the ritual. They don't say you broke the ritual. They say you broke the law. You follow me here? But it's just their rituals and ceremony. They said, you can't bring them drums up here and your grandmother up here when this child being born. It's against the law. No, it's against your ritual and ceremony, but it's not against the law. You follow where I'm coming from here? So we got to be clear on this thing. So I'm just trying to get a little groundwork done before I really get into how to stop the child from manipulating you. Because manipulation is the name of the game with the child. The child has 24 hours to figure out how to manipulate you. You got to figure out how to get to work, how to pay the bills. Your attention is diverted. But they're sitting there saying, how can I get this sucker to do what I want him to do? Let me see there. You know, that's their job, to manipulate you. Oh, she came in the room with a heavy step. She must be upset. Let me act like my father, who she's mad at. And that way they get her upset, then she feel guilty and give me what I want. You see? My PX3, whatever they want, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they have great con artists. They said, how am I going to get what I want out of that sucker called my mother? I'm going to get that heifer today, you know? They just said, that's all they got to do. Their job is to manipulate you. Your job is to figure out paying the bill, drive, eat, so you can't keep up with them. So you have to know how to control the manipulation con game that they are. They're masters of this thing. They're little kitchen pimps. You got to be careful. So I'm going to get into all of those manipulation techniques that you need to do to control this child, you know? So the first rule of manipulation and control is never give a reward if you don't have a punishment. You never give a reward if you don't have a punishment. A person that gives reward after reward after reward, pretty soon they're going to say, they take my kindness for weakness. Because they're giving out rewards and no punishments. You have to give a punishment in order to control it. It's like the police. They control the drugs and they control the crime. They control both. They're bipolar. They create the crime. You follow what I'm saying? They're bipolar. You look at them like they're here to protect you. No, they're here to create crime. Who brings the drugs into the prisons? The correction officers. They can create the crime, so they say, I have to control both crosses. You have to double cross. The cross of evil and the cross of good. Therefore, you've been double crossed. And you follow what I'm saying here? What they're saying is another way of using the words manipulation and manipulations are done when you don't have a punishment for a reward. That doesn't mean you gotta beat the child. It means a punishment means you say something I don't like, I frown. Therefore you know what my position is, you see? You know when you've gone too far, man, no. That's my punishment. It doesn't mean violence, mind you. It just means you know where I'm at. You say, I can't figure out where they're at, because they're not giving you rewards and punishment. I don't know where they're coming from. But if they give you signals like, no, then you know where they're coming from. And all those signals are learned before you're born. You know what I mean? I'm back to synchronizing complementary behavior which the child has for each emotion. Now, we're going to go through some of the basic communication skills you need to understand you and to understand the child. Dr. Stevenson is going to do that because actually she's better at it than me, and plus I don't like talking too much. It may seem like I like to talk to you, but I don't like to talk. I'm a quiet person. I stay to myself. Isn't that right, Melanin?
That's right.
Oh yeah.
We're going to learn how to talk to one another. Isn't that hard sometimes? We have some communication styles, and first we're going to go through how people listen to one another. Now you have 3 styles. You have information, say information so I can make sure nobody's sleeping. You have enhance their life. One more, and you got critical. Critical. Very good. Now, when you listen, this is how a person actually hears you. Have you ever been in a situation when you're talking to somebody and they're going, and then you ask them a question, they say, huh?
That's right, yeah.
That person was just listening for information. And what that primarily means is that they heard the words that was coming out your mouth, but they were just listening to the words that was just coming out your mouth. They weren't trying to connect anything that you were saying. So what I want us to do tonight, I'm going to give you these 3 listening types, and I want you to tell me which one you are. So you have information. Now, information is I'm talking to you right now, and you hear everything that I'm saying, and I ask you a question, and you get quiet. It's because you took a mental vacation on me, okay? So that was the first one. That's information. The second one is enhance your life. It means that I'm actually talking to you, and you're trying to listen to what I'm saying to see how it connects to either yourself or someone that's close to you. So if I start talking about your prostate, the men are going to say, what you talking about? Because you got a prostate, right? Or if you got a cousin that has prostate problems, you're going to listen because you want to tell them, right? Or if I talk about an ovary, the women are going to say, what you got to say about that? Okay, because you want to either connect it to yourself or someone that's close to you. So that's another listening type. Enhance your life. The last one is critical. And we as African people are so good at this one. Critical thinking is everything that comes out of my mouth, you're just trying to find a hole in it. It's like, you don't know what she's talking about. Where you get that information from? You really are not listening to what I'm saying. You're just listening to debate what is coming out of my mouth. Do we know people in our family like that? You try to tell them something, and they're like, nah, that ain't true. And you know what? I saw this. I read this article, and the article said this. Have we experienced that? Okay, so we have 3 communication styles, remember? How many of you guys are information? Keep it real. How many of you just listen to hear words coming out people's mouth? No one? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. We got 2 information people in the house. So when you have information people and you know they're information people, you have to make sure that you give them something in writing, okay? So when they leave you, they can look back and say, oh, this is what we were talking about, especially if it's something important or if it's a business meeting or something like that. Do we all understand that? Now, how many of us haven't enhanced their life type of a listening skill? Now, you can only be one, okay? Well, you can have 3 of them, you know, depending on how many personalities you got, but you dominate one of them. So we have quite a few people that's enhancing. Like, that means that what you actually listen to, you try to actually connect it to help you or someone else. All right, now by default, who is critical? You can go ahead and raise your hand because I did not see your hand raised. Critical is cool. Sometimes you need to critically listen to what people are saying. Have you ever been in a situation, and I know you have here in London, where someone's talking to you and it's not all that true and it's not all that correct? Okay, so you must critically listen to what is being said so you don't go for, and this is like an American thing, the okey doke. Have you ever heard of that? Don't go for the BS. You ever heard of that? Y'all heard of that one, right? Okay, y'all don't make me say nothing bad, okay? I'm trying to give y'all letters. Okay, so now we know that our listening styles, how many people are enhance their life? And how many people are critical? And how many people are information? Okay, so I know how to talk to everybody in the room. Now we have thinking styles. Now this is actually how you think. The other one was how you listen. You have an idealistic person. An idealistic person says they think about things that should happen, but they may not happen, or it's not realistic. You know how me, when I came here to London and I was in a car and I was driving, I was like, you know, here in London, they should have roads that are much straighter so people like me don't get sick. But that's an idealistic way of thinking, but that's not realistic, correct? Because you guys are not going to go out there and start changing these roads, right? Okay. So that's an idealistic person. That's how they think. You have a harmonizer. They try to solve things peacefully. Well, look at it this way. You ever had two people arguing,